Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the moon conjunct the ascendant in the natal chart. Now, first off, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in the natal chart. They're a little bit concise, and some people may refer to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, people, first thing up is, well, if you have the moon conjunct the ascendant in the natal chart, there may be a very intense need, which is the moon for new beginnings, which is the ascendant. Now, let's say if the ascendant is in Capricorn, new beginnings, maybe tied in with just career-related matters in general, business matters. It could be something more specifically connected with the sign Capricorn, a Capricorn-related field, such as architecture, construction, uh, could be dentistry, accounting, politics, government work, information technology, as some examples. If you have the ascendant in Aquarius, new beginnings may be connected with computers, electronics, humanitarian, altruistic endeavors. It could be doing something with astrology, astronomy, computers, electronics, doing something with meteorology, aviation, as some examples. Now, and others may readily see that you're sensitive, which is the moon, on a first impression, because there may be little effort to suppress your feelings and emotions. Now, if you have your ascendant, in a more sensitive sign, I would say this could be more intensified if you have your ascendant, say, in the zodiac sign Cancer or Pisces. Cancer rising can be very, sensitive, to criticism and ridicule, and they have certain insecurities, and a lot of that, is part of the reason, that they could be Cancer, ascendant, Pisces ascendant can be exceptionally sensitive, but this could be even intensified if you have, this aspect along with it in your natal chart. Now, another thing about the moon conjunct the ascendant and how it may manifest in the natal chart, it could be where there is an abundance of energy, vitality, which is the ascendant, to attain the emotional needs, which is the moon. Now, let's say if you have, the moon in Taurus, emotional needs, may be connected, with creature comforts, art, peace, tranquility, monetary matters. Maybe it's something, more specifically connected with the zodiac sign Taurus, like a Taurus field, doing something connected with the Taurus field or profession, maybe something like geology, carpet laying, architecture, um, banking, finance, working as a stockbroker, pawnbroker. But emotional needs may be very strongly tied in with just general peace, tranquility, stability, monetary stability, and creature comforts. Now, another thing too is that if you have the moon conjunct the ascendant in a natal chart, another way it may be expressed is being really exceptionally sensitive, which is the moon, to your environment, which is the ascendant. If you have the ascendant, in Aries, there may be a lot of sensitivity to a more volatile, even hostile, aggressive, kind of environment. You know, if you have the ascendant in Taurus, it could be a peaceful and tranquil environment that you at least desire, but there may be more sensitivity, if there's any issues, in the environment that takes one out of that peaceful, that stable, tranquil state. As some examples, Gemini ascendant may have an environment that's where there's a lot of restlessness, mobility, a lot of just variety of things that are going on, where things are very fast paced for him or her. Now, another thing about this aspect in a natal chart and how it may be expressed, it could be that the mother and the family, which is the moon, may have figured more prominently in one's early childhood, which is the ascendant, than most. Now, let's say, if the moon, is in the zodiac sign Cancer, you know, one or more, the mother and one or more family members may actually be a Cancer, sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be, people that are, very nurturing, caring, sympathetic, protective, introverted, emotional, even timid, but yet could be moody and temperamental as well. And the thing about this aspect is that you may often, feel, which is the moon, like doing things that are pertaining to the self, the ascendant, the outer self anyway, the outer demeanor. And the thing is, let's say if the ascendant is in Leo, things connected with the self may be more, maybe tied in with entertainment, amusement, enjoyment. It could be activities with children, or doing things, performing, whether it's like, circus performing, or it could be acting. As some examples, something, it could be even something associated with the military, things that are more, more pertaining to oneself. The ascendant is in Virgo as another example. It may be matters associated with health and fitness, nutrition, staying in shape, organizing, compartmentalizing things as some examples. Now, another thing is that if you have the moon conjunct the ascendant in a natal chart, you may come across, which is the ascendant, is more emotional, sensitive, caring, protective, even moody, than the moon, as, compared, to your, more so than your ascendant would indicate. If your ascendant is in Cancer, as an example, and you have, the moon conjunct the ascendant, then it could even intensify, a lot of changeability and, moodiness. Now, like with me, I have a Taurus ascendant, but my moon is in Gemini in the first house. Now, my moon doesn't conjunct my ascendant, but there may be a little more fluctuation with my moods because of that, than the typical Taurus ascendant. Now, another thing is that, if you have the moon conjunct the ascendant in a natal chart, the appearance, the visage, may be a little bit rounder than otherwise indicated. The face may be round. Even if, you have an ascendant, which is very contrary to this, like say a Gemini or Sagittarius ascendant, which would, be more inclined to an oblong shaped head, the head may be a little bit rounder than otherwise indicated, and the body type may have more of a roundish visage than otherwise indicated in the natal chart. Now, also, too, there may be physical, which is the ascendant related issues, connected with the chest, the breast, the stomach, the ribs, and the left or right eye, depending on gender, which is the moon. Now, let's say if the moon is in Aquarius, there may be more sporadic and erratic issues with what I described. There may be some kind of something more intermittent or some kind of twitching, with the left or right eye. There may be something more nerve related, connected with the chest, the breast, the stomach, or the ribs. Again, if the moon is in Aquarius as an example. Now, another thing too about this aspect is that the unconscious side, which is the moon, may be readily seen by others. And the thing is, let's say if the moon is in Libra, that unconscious side may be one that's very charming, tactful, diplomatic, refined, balanced, equitable, cooperative, compromising, as some examples. And you may easily really, I would say too, if you have the moon conjunct the ascendant in a natal chart, is that moon-related people may figure very prominently in your outlook on life, which is the ascendant. When I say moon-related people, naturally I'm talking about home, family members, people you're close to home with. It could be people that are in moon, like professions, whether it's cooking, restaurant, real estate, home renovation, culinary work, as some examples. And if your ascendant is in Taurus, as an example, your outlook on life may be very extremely, down to earth. If the ascendant is in Aries, is another example. Your outlook may just simply be not, being afraid or apprehensive or fearful, not being intimidated by anyone. As an example. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.